Hey everybody, this is Jeff from Intergalactic Toys for all you Hot Wheels collectors. Today's video is looking for the ever elusive Super Treasure Hunt by Hot Wheels. Now, according to other collectors, there's about 2% of these made. I think your typical mainline car, not the Super Treasure Hunts, I've heard 100,000. Now, any of you Hot Wheels collectors know otherwise, how many of each car is made, okay? I've heard 100,000, I don't know. Okay, now, Super Treasure Hunts, top 10 things you can do to improve finding a Super Treasure Hunt. Now, you should know, the thing about Super Treasure Hunts is the synthetic rubber reels and the Spectraflame paint jobs that drive collectors crazy. So, top 10 things you can do. Now, this goes out to all of you new Hot Wheels collectors that are just starting out. So the thing is you're going to see postings, collectors, in groups, on their personal Facebook sites, is, hey, look at me, look what I just found, and you're going to see the same people over and over, just getting lucky, right? Well, they're not getting lucky, but they are probably doing things on my list in order to improve their chances of getting a Super Treasure Hunt, and treasure hunts for that. So, let's talk about the first thing we can do, okay? Top 10, number 1 coming right at you. First, most obvious thing, and these are kind of in order, 1 through 10, okay? If you can work there, that's a huge plus. Doesn't mean you'll have access to them, okay? But if you're an employee, perhaps a manager, a lead stalker, someone who stocks the toys, maybe just a regular stalker, that can improve your chances as long as you can get to those unopened cases. What's my example? And this is a verified example. I know a lot of people. I started with another guy, but I'm not part of it anymore, the Boise Hot Wheels Club, and we had monthly get-togethers, buy-sell trades, things like that. I got to learn all the people that are in the local area. And I can tell you, I'll give you one specific example. There was a person that worked, I'm not going to say he or she, I'm not going to say names, okay? But this person worked at a Target, and that person, as a lead stalker, was able to take every Super out of any cases. Now, you know that you can go through lots of cases. You can go through 8 cases, 10 cases, and not find a Super, okay? I know because I have my own personal story with the Fiat. To find this one in the back room, I went through 8 shippers. That's a cool story. I'm going to tell you that. Okay, didn't work there. All right, this person works there, so like this lead stalker was capable, has claim to them, so every Super is taken. All right, that was verified by a huge big-time local collector who thought they would do what I'm telling you, go get a job at these places, right? Even part-time. But that store was spoken for, and guess what? No Supers. I've been to that store many times. You'd be lucky to even find a treasure hunt. Okay, that's how bad it is. All right, so the next thing you can do, oh, and by the way, since we're talking about that, you don't have to necessarily work for them, okay? When I was at an Albertsons, and I worked as a retail merchandiser for FGX International, which is eyewear, okay? So I'd go in there, I'd go into all these stores, Walgreens, Family Dollar, you name it, every store that carried Hot Wheels, Kohl's even, I would do these stores, these resets, things like that. And I can tell you, okay, with regularity, okay, I can tell you that because of the things on my list that people do, the Super Treasure Hunts that do make it to the floor don't make it to the floor, and if they do, they're taken immediately, okay? And that's why it's so hard. That's why people will go for years, years, never finding one. A lot of you are thinking, why am I listening to this guy? He's never found a Super Treasure Hunt. But I can tell you what people do, collectors do, hardcore collectors do, to find or to get their hands on Super Treasure Hunts. Okay, so working there. Now, the person that worked there in this specific instance at Target, they didn't care about Hot Wheels. It was their, let's say, boyfriend/girlfriend, okay, that was the big collector. So number 2 is knowing somebody that works at Target or Walmart that has the capability of getting to these unopened cases, okay? So that's just as good almost, okay? And it could just be a friend. It could be a family member. Be someone you barely know, okay? But hey, that's another good way to get a Super Treasure Hunt. But anyway, let's go. Number 3. All right, number 3 thing you can do. Ask an employee. A lot of people don't do this. Ask an employee when they stock the store, okay? That's Walmart, Target, that specific store. Daytime, nighttime, there's nothing wrong with that. You can ask a manager, a lead stalker, a stalker, whoever stocks the toys. Whoever knows, try to get to that person. What time do you stock? Okay, is there a certain day? Is there a certain time? There's a Walmart over here that stocks religiously Thursday nights at 10 o'clock at night. Number 4, all right. Ask an employee if there is more in the back. I mean, you never know. I had a person go into a Fred Meyer that I know of, another collector, who they were like, yeah, you know, we just got some in. And brought them out, unopened cases in his shopping cart. And that person went through them and I found a super. Now, I'm just laughing because, I mean, just asking. You never know. All right. Number 5, check the overstock, right? You go to a Walmart. Boop, there's boxes up there that say Hot Wheels, okay? A lot of people, now, I am not advocating that you grab those boxes, but I'll tell you this right now, it's always good to ask. That's the kind of person I am. But people will go up there and be like, hey, and 2 instances this happened here in the Treasure Valley. And yes, one of them had a super in it. Okay, the person took pictures, put it all over Facebook. This is like a year or 2 ago. Look, some employee was trying to keep a super treasure hunt. They were probably on duty and couldn't buy it, and they tucked it away up in a box. And a collector had, not shy, went, grabbed the box, found there was some good stuff in the box, including the super treasure hunt, and then took a picture in the cart and posted it on Facebook, as they always do, right? As soon as you find a super treasure hunt, hey, look at me, I found a super treasure hunt. That's pretty common. It's pretty normal. It's like a boasting, bragging thing. We all know that. So, in another case, it happened at a different Walmart, and the stalker was, around, and they were walking around. They saw the person grab the box and said, hey, you can't touch that. You can't go up there. And the person was like, heck, I can't, I'm going to go buy it right now. And they did. And you know what? Nothing the stalker could do, because it would have got them probably in trouble anyway. All right. Number 6, go to remote locations. Yeah, so out here in the Treasure Valley, there's a Walmart. It kind of hangs out there. People are always like on Facebook, oh, hey, look what I found. I'm always finding good stuff out there. So try those remote locations. That, you never know. A lot of times they're just not visited, because like me, I'm not going to drive an hour. If it's an hour away or 2 hours away, I'm not going to drive out there in the hopes that I'm going to find a super treasure. They're so rare to find, I've never found one. I mean, if you haven't found one for years, why would you go out there, drive an hour one way, or even a half hour? That's an hour both ways, of gas and time to try to find a super treasure. Most people go like, no, I'm not going to do that. And they don't. So sometimes the hardcore person that is going back and forth, they find them. All right. 7, try stores you wouldn't normally go to. This is another video. I've been wanting to do this video. Okay, so stores like O'Reilly's Auto Parts, right? Most of you know AutoZone. You're like thinking, maybe Joann's, and there's more. I don't want to give them all away because that's another video. So there's stores that aren't Walmart, aren't Target, aren't Kroger and Albertsons and Walgreens that people are like, okay, I'm going to go there, because most collectors, they don't think about going there. Now, it's very, very seldom that they ever have anything very, very good. But I found some good stuff at some of those stores. You never know. Especially even premium Hot Wheels, not just baseline. All right, number 8. This is what most people do. It's very clumsy. Increase the frequency of going to, all the time to a store, right? It's constantly. I knew a collector that was every 5 a.m. every day, Monday through Friday. I'm gonna go hit up Walmart's, and then go around and do the whole Treasure Valley. And most of the time, I never found anything. It's just a waste of time and gas. And it's just like most people, they spend so much time. They really don't. That's another reason why they don't really make money, unless you really are working there, like some of these other options that I mentioned, where you're not really having to put too much of an effort and go out of your way. Someone's already there. They're slicing the cases open. They're pulling the supers out. Then that's probably, you're making some good money there on each super. But if you're traveling around, wasting all that time, gas, and it's not worth it. I mean, most of the time, that collector never found anything. Okay. But hey, you can try it, right? All right, number 9. Number 9 is, most people don't know, HotWheelsCollectors.com. At the end of the year, you can buy the Super Treasure Hunt. You could try to buy the Super Treasure Hunt set, all of them, for the whole year, all 15. They usually sell out, though, very quickly. But that's something that you can do, right? You could try to buy them at the end of the year, all of them. And they're very affordable. I think I can't remember, it's $200 or $300, but they're very affordable for all of them. Number 10, you can, if you're a part of Hot Wheels collectors, groups, forums, stuff like that, you can trade with other collectors, right? And a lot of times people will trade RLC for supers and vice versa, which that might work out for you, okay? You could probably get those supers by trading RLC. Another reason to become an RLC member, right? It'd be much easier to get those cars. Trade for them. I just saw a collector put that up the other day. Hey, a selection car, willing to trade for a super. I've seen it several times. All right, so trade with them, or, and this is still number 10, eBay auction. A lot of times, sometimes those people don't ship the cars. I've heard all the horror stories, but you know what? You never know. Sometimes people get a steal. You know, you'll look and you'll see that they're like outliers, I call them. If you saw one of my other videos, you look up and they go, you know, normally this is a $50 super treasure hunt, whatever, but it went in an auction for like $35, something ridiculous. And you're like, oh man, that's the deal, man. I should have done that, you know. There's only one person that gets those, but hey, that could be you. If you're constantly on there and you're bidding on multiple things, maybe you'll get lucky. You never know. But at least you won't have to pay. You're not going to pay it. I mean, you're not getting it for $1, but at least you're not paying $50 for a super treasure hunt, right? Okay, now my personal story. Here we go. Okay, so how did I get this? All right. So, a lot of you locals know, Hot Wheels collectors know. I had, for a couple of years, I sold out of a secondhand store, rented like 400 square feet. Sold toys, comics, especially Hot Wheels. And so an Albertsons manager down the street, local Albertsons manager, came through, saw that I sold Hot Wheels. Like, hey, you know, this person was thinking outside the box, this manager. Like, I can probably sell me, since I sell Hot Wheels, a lot. Now, this person was selling to collectors. This store was being hounded by a specific collector who would sell it to me even for $1. You'd come in and you'd see that with a box, and it'd be like, oh, I got 6 of this treasure hunt, 8 of that treasure hunt, 10 of this treasure hunt, and you're like, well, that's where they're all going, right? Very few people, very few collectors, and this person wasn't really much of a collector, but more of a lot of a reseller. So, I mean, there's a lot of people out there like that, and you know, they don't buy one, they don't buy two, you know, like a collector might. They're going to buy as many as they can. So, they usually, collectors though, you know, this manager at Albertsons was like, well, yeah, we haven't got like, she had 8 shippers. They had 8 shippers at the time. And the collectors would come in and they'd buy one car. They'd find this and they'd buy one. It would take about 45 minutes to an hour to look through 8 shippers. And then they would buy, if there was a super, they'd buy the one super. $1. That manager would make $1. Trying to think outside the box, like, oh, that's not worthwhile my while. Because that manager had to stay there just inside the back room, watch the person for a whole hour go through all these cars. So I did it once. That's how I got this one. Okay, I think it was like the 6th or 7th shipper. I was toward the end. I was getting very disappointed. I pulled a lot of cars. Pulled some treasure hunts back then, and some the Combis, some of the Barbie Corvettes and stuff like that. So I pulled out some of the novelty things, you know, things that I knew I could sell, and you know, I bought them in multiples, and I think about $25. So, you know, it wasn't like a total waste of time. It was like a $25 sale. Not as big as I'm sure that manager would have hoped, but it was kind of like, okay, you know, come back again, you know. But I looked through all the 8 shippers, and I was like, unless you get more, until you get more, which was going to be a while, there was no reason for me to go back anytime soon. And this was the 3rd trip, by the way. I'd gone there twice at a certain time because there was a small window of opportunity where there was an hour where I could be watched by the manager and look through the shippers. Okay, these are unopened shippers, by the way. And so this is it. This is the car. And it was like the least expensive treasure hunt, super treasure hunt for that year. This is the one that I found. I was like, oh, cool. I'm going to put it out there that I found it in the wild, even though technically I really didn't. Okay, and I don't mind, you know, putting that out here now. Because this point of this video is to help those of you increase your chances of finding super treasure hunts, but at the same time letting you know there are people who are out there who are just constantly spinning the wheels and not finding anything. And it's just because, like I said, they're not doing any of those things on the list. But the people who are finding the supers, who are getting the supers, I should say, not really finding, but getting the supers, they're doing those things on the list, okay? Because it's almost like a common knowledge to people nowadays. It's 2021, folks. People have known this. I went through this in the 90s with buying those Star Wars action figures. They're not worth much. Most of them aren't worth anything now. I probably bought 200 of them, going looking for the 00s, you know, the green saber cards and the different ones, the different series that they had, and going crazy and being very competitive like everybody else, you know. It didn't pay off. Okay, I've been collecting toys a long time. That's why I'm trying to help you out and tell you, look, I mean, if this does it for you, you gotta have these. Then you know what? Do one of these things on my list, and you will increase, I guarantee you'll increase your frequency or chances of trying to finding a treasure hunt and a super treasure hunt, okay? But if you're not willing to put any kind of effort like me, if you think, oh, I'm just going to go to the store and get lucky, chances are you'll go years and years without finding one, okay? And, you know, you'll just be like, oh, man, I can't find these things, and give up. Now, while I was at Albertsons, I found out that one of the truck drivers, delivery drivers, okay, the big Albertsons trucks, collected Hot Wheels and would go through unopened shippers, okay? Get a lot of priority there too. And, you know, just you think about it, you think, oh my gosh, no wonder why. And my other example of Albertsons, because I did work for the FGX where I would go around and have all these accounts. One of my local accounts, person that works in the back with me, actually would boast and be like, oh, no, I take all the supers. I get priority here at the store. And you know what? That's pretty common. There you go. There's number one, right? Well, number one was work there. So this person worked there, and believe me, I saw those shippers, okay? Because I would go in the back. My stuff, my glasses, my eyewear that I had to put out and merchandise were in the back, and guess what was right next to it? Hot Wheels shippers. And believe me, I was very, very tempted to go through there. But, you know, I don't want to lose my job over something like that, you know. And I could have asked, but, you know, I don't look for these things. So it didn't bother me. So I want you to know that, okay, that a lot of stores are spoken for. It is extremely hard, okay? If you're just thinking random luck, probably chances are you won't find them, okay? And that's pretty common. There's a lot of people in that category. You know, people go without years, and then you've got people who are like, oh, found another super. Another week or two go by, found another super. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so all right. So hopefully you found this video interesting, and hopefully it's helping you. Those of you who are, you know, want to get your hands on these treasure hunt, super treasure hunts. Okay. But okay. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day.